Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here on your Tuesday night. Tonight is September 2nd. We are 7 p.m. and we are located at the county building on the third floor in the council chambers. We will begin by a pledge of allegiance, which will be led by Councilman Stromberg. Will you all please stand?
Please repeat after me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our county attorney, Scott Broadhead, is here. Our county council, as far as county council, we have Councilman Stromberg, Councilman Hamner, Councilman Wardle, Councilman Hoffman is here. Councilman Thomas has been excused temporarily. We have from our county manager, Andy Welch and Brittany Lopez. From the clerk's office, Nikki is here taking copious notes. Thank you. And we welcome each one of you joining us. That will bring us down to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience by raise of hand who'd like to make a public comment? Seeing two. Okay. Carrie, you want to be first?
How many minutes, sir?
3 minutes, okay?
Can I have 4.5?
Did you time it?
I did.
Okay.
All right, thank you. For the record, my name's Carrie Mosling, and I am an employee. Yes?
Oh.
Can't hear? Not loud enough? I'm going to try that one. Last week, this was the lucky one.
I keep y'all on your toes.
Let's see. Okay, try that, Carrie.
Okay, that better?
Okay.
For the record, my name's Carrie Mosling, and I work in the county auditor's office. My family and I moved to this community in July of 2018 after both our sons-in-law were transferred here. They're contractors for the DOD. We made the choice to follow them so we could be present in our kids' and our grandkids' lives. And since we've lived here, we've learned we have ancestors buried in Rush Valley Cemetery and Tooele City Cemetery. So kind of funny, life sometimes comes full circle. Currently, we have 4 generations living at our house. And I've worked in the auditor's office since February of 2019, and I was excited to serve in a community I've grown to love. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, often while fulfilling our daily duties under pressure. Our team is small but mighty. We collaborate well across departments and approach problems with solutions. I just want to share a few examples of how our office has stepped up. In 2021, a state audit revealed the need for data cleanup between the court's Chorus system and our financial software. Working alongside Judge Dow and Michelle Aragon, we created and implemented procedures to correct those issues, and we currently still collaborate closely with them. Beginning in February of 22, our office took on nearly 100% of the responsibility for creating the structure of the new Tyler financial software. This involves 17 months of demanding work before we ever went live. As we prepared to go live with Tyler, our office became the go-to for technical and troubleshooting questions, many of which would have fallen under the IT scope. But due to department head transitions at the time, our office handled these issues for over a year until IT could take over. 14 months into using Tyler, we were informed that the treasurer's office could not reconcile the bank account, and that responsibility would now be ours. This was a massive undertaking. Reconciling a government account is significantly more complex than reconciling our own personal account. Once we were current and established a process, we were going to pass it back to the treasurer's office when we were told that process is too hard. And so it continues to stay in our office. During a transition in HR leadership, no one knew how to process workman comp claims. Our office stepped in and figured it out until the new staff could get up to speed, despite our office having no prior experience with that. Our office currently has what I call public busy seasons. Much like the DMV at the end of the month, these occur at the start of the year when the veterans receive their disability percentage letters, in the spring when we send out abatement reminders, in July when valuation notices are sent out, and again in the fall when tax notices are sent out. During these times, phones ring constantly and lines extend out the door. It takes all 4 of us working at full capacity to keep up. Despite these challenges, we've maintained dedication and teamwork. That's why the budget transfer approved on August 19th is disheartening. Somehow, it was determined the job responsibilities of the purchasing position in our office was 51% purchasing, presumably because 51% of the budget was transferred to the manager's office. That leaves our team with 49% of the duties, but without any staff to support it. That translates to 19.6 hours per week of work placed on our team already operating at full capacity. And I believe that you made it perfectly clear you would not be entertaining new positions for the 2026 budget. What's even more troubling is that this decision was made without any one of you taking the time to visit our office, especially during the busiest times of the year, to see firsthand the volume, complexity, and pressure we deal with. Without that perspective, the decision feels disconnected, short-sighted, and dismissive of the very real impact it's had on our team's workload, efficiency, and morale. What's more, we were just starting to find our footing with the Tyler system, and we're preparing to support departments interested in using additional modules, such as project accounting and grant management tools. Those are tools the county pays for that we're not utilizing. Now there's going to be no time or capacity to make that happen. There's a saying, there isn't a person you wouldn't love if you heard their story. I've shared part of mine so you might better understand the heart behind the work we do and the weight of the decisions being made. We're not just staff filling roles, we're people who care about this community and have gone above and beyond to support it. We're real people, just like you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you. I have a couple questions and also comments to share with you tonight. First, on the upcoming budget process, I appreciate the council sharing their expectations last meeting. You've asked the departments to identify priorities, and I agree. I think that's 100% fair. But I think it would also be very appropriate for you as a council. What are your county-wide priorities as we move into this budget season? Is it infrastructure? Is it economic development, public safety, recreation, any number of, I realize you guys got a giant umbrella of things you have to tend to and try to fund, and there's never quite enough money. Another area of concern when it comes to budget is a little bit in the consistency area. So I present for all of my departments, which kind of placed me at a disadvantage last budget cycle because rather than my individual departments coming to the meeting and presenting their priorities, all mine kind of got lumped under the sheriff, and so that caused 2 different departments to have somewhat conflicting to where they were competing against one another. And I haven't seen that used in other offices where we basically tell them with multiple budgets under their care where they had to pick between them different departments. So I would be looking for that to be done, because if it's better for me to have my department heads present before you, I'm happy to do it. But they present to me in my staff meeting, and I bring to you what I'm willing to bring forward. For example, I always kill the soft-serve ice cream machine, but I'm not even going to bother you guys with that.
Okay.
Consistency also matters with staffing. Last year, I had to vigorously defend a sergeant's position. And that's okay, you know, let's have the conversation. What's frustrating about it is when down the road I see two people hired in HR with very little discussion. And that increased their budget 62%. And so can we get some consistency when we're considering these personnel requests across the board? And then, I hate to go here, but Nathan brought my name up, or my department up, in the last meeting regarding movement of money. And while I think he is 100% correct when he referred to last fall, money was moved from the sheriff's office by the manager's office. The procedure may have been the same. The manner in which was the word he used was not. That was a collaborative effort on facilities, myself, and the manager's office in finding some money to put in a generator. And we were all supportive of it. So at no point has funds or staff been pulled out of my budget against my will. And I think that's one distinct difference, that when I was on the back row, people were looking at me like, what, did they do that to you too? And I said, no, it was completely different. And then another statement made was that this change of purchasing will not affect ongoing audits. I beg to differ. I have a current audit going on of my commissary account. The person doing it is Aspen. If she's moved full-time as a purchasing agent, who's going to finish that? Because for you to pull the funds and leave half of it in the auditor's office without the personnel or capability to complete that audit, I would say, in fact, the current audits will be impacted. One more point on audits. I've been anxiously awaiting the Squire audit. It was supposed to be presented last April, was what the manager said. What's the delay on it? Because it's kind of the final piece to my fraud and waste complaint that I'm still waiting to hear back on. So I'd really like to hear that. And then as we move purchasing out of the auditor's office and into the manager's office, I'm a little bit concerned, because under the managers, it's required to be full-time. It was only part-time under the auditors. So I haven't been, as a sheriff's office, or I'm unaware of any of the other department heads saying, what are the changes in purchasing that's now requiring that purchasing agent to be a full-time person versus a part-time person that they were originally? So with that, I appreciate your time tonight, and thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate each of your comments. That will bring us down to minutes on August 19th, 2025. That is talking about our minutes there. Is there any corrections or additions to the minutes that are at hand?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we need to spell Chuck Ackerlow's name correct. Is that what you?
We put a C in your last name.
Okay, okay, then we've got it taken care of, never mind. Okay,
Any other corrections or additions?
no, Chairman, I see that they are correct, and I would make a recommendation, we adopt the minutes.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Wardle, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Stromberg. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sounds unanimous with those that are here. Minutes are approved, adopted. Consent agenda, check registry. We talk about the check registry, that anything that you'd like to see that the county writes checks on are on our website. So with that, Chairman, entertain a motion for the check registry.
Motion to approve the check registry.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Stromberg and a second from Councilman Wardle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sounds like Ty says aye too, so that is passed. And down here on the discussion items, we will talk about the Energy Development Overlay Zone discussion. Rachelle.
I hope the print is better on your slide than it is on mine. Oh, it's not. It's terrible. Okay, it's in your packets. So the state has asked that if counties are interested in providing areas for an energy development zone, that we come up with a zoning district and identify properties where this zoning district may be placed. The state is currently looking statewide at areas that they believe various energy developments could occur and should occur. So we've not identified any properties at this time that may be suited for energy development zones. We're waiting for the state audit. However, we did bring a resolution to you at your last meeting, which you approved, stating that we were looking at creating an energy development zone. And before you for discussion is the energy development zone overlay. This will have to go through Planning Commission before it comes to the council for final approval, but we wanted to get it before you and kind of let you see the direction that we're headed with this. We have been in contact with Dan Royal and other members of the state in the Energy Development Office in coming up with some of the guidelines which are in here. This has all energy uses basically being conditional use. That way they go before the Planning Commission. Neighbors are notified if there's any adverse impacts that could be caused by that use. They can come in, we can look at conditions to mitigate those. Where it's an overlay zone, it does not change the underlying zoning district. So if the state audit were to come in and say a certain piece of property would be well suited for an energy development zone, we can put the overlay over it but not change the underlying zoning district. That way the property owner or BLM or Sittler, whoever owns a property, can still do with it what the underlying zoning district allows, but it also signifies to the state that we have this overlay zone if they were to place a project there. As you all know, there was legislation last year that said they can come place an energy project anywhere they want in the state.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get ahead of that and work with them, not against them. Energy is a real crisis, as we're aware. Economic development and housing-wise, we're really suffering with energy. This does not allow for any large nuclear. That was a question that Councilman Hoffman asked me earlier. If the state were to come in and identify that, we could discuss that further. But right now, they're just recommending small modular, which is self-contained, very invasive, basically. So it would allow for solar farms, battery energy storage systems, small modular reactors, biomass, waste energy facilities, carbon capture and storage substations, hydrogen production and storage, nuclear research or testing facilities, much like what you see at the University of Utah, wind energy systems and geothermal facilities. We have prohibited oil, gas, and coal extraction and fossil fuel refining or coal-fired generation. Do you have any questions? Anything you'd like to see
Takes
change?
care of the whole list, right?
Yeah,
Just one quick
Go ahead,
question. When do we
Erik.
anticipate getting the audit from the state? Was that in a couple months? Is that correct?
October-ish,
October, so we're,
yes.
this is fine on its own. We're just waiting for that before that we give us
Where we
site-specific.
identify properties.
Correct.
Yes. But we have to put this in place before we can do that.
No, any questions, Ty? No?
No, I asked Rachelle earlier my questions. Thanks for your work on this, Rachelle. Appreciate it.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Sounds like it's gonna go to the planning and zoning first, so,
Yes,
thank you, Michelle.
if you're good with it, that's the direction we
Yeah.
will go. Okay, thank you.
That'll bring us down to, consent agenda, the project manager contract, service between Tooele County.
For tricky deal. I'm gonna present on it.
Oh, wonderful.
Good evening, council. Brittany Lopez from the county manager's office. As you know, in this year's budget, you guys allowed for us to hire a project manager. After discussion with our departments, the other departments, the auditor's office, and Andy, we've decided we don't have abundance of large-scale projects that it would make sense for us to hire a person. We wouldn't want to have to let somebody go when we don't have any more large-scale projects. Some of the other roads projects and stuff that we have, we're required to have a different pool of project managers. So we went out and kind of looked to see what other counties and cities do, and typically what they'll do is they'll hire a company for project management. So we did do the RFQ process, and through that we had a lot of great companies, but ended up landing on MOCA Systems. Tonight you'll have their contract. It has 2 exhibits. Exhibit A is the outline that goes with, I'm sorry that it's still up there. I don't know why it's still doing that. Exhibit A has the outline to complete the peak master plan, and Exhibit B allows for us to use them for other projects in the future. So I'm open to any questions you might have on this contract.
Council, any questions that you have?
Yeah, would you please repeat all that?
It's worth noting that Councilman Thomas is back with us.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No, I think we talked about that before. Thank you.
Can I just make one comment?
Please.
One of the benefits of hiring somebody like this, if we were to hire somebody internal, we would have very specialized skill set. We're hiring a company that has architects that can review the plans. We have construction managers that work on that. So they have different people that can help us in a way that we probably could not have done individually if we'd hired somebody. So we interviewed, I think, 5 different firms, and this is the firm that we were most comfortable with the capabilities that they have to kind of look at it with fresh eyes and have our best interests in mind when they're reviewing these projects.
We'll have an on-site manager along with, we have an engineer, we have an architect available to us. So going into the next phase of the peak, they'll look at that and make sure that we're kind of cost engineering to make sure that we're taking out the fluff and just doing what's necessary to make that project, well, hopefully minimize change orders, those types of things.
Wonderful. Thank you. There's no other questions, and Chair to entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the contract with MOCA.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Stromberg, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Wardle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those that may oppose say nay. That sounds unanimous to me. Bring it down to, I'm sorry, Bucky. Who's Bucky? Come on up. Automatic aid agreement, South Fire Department.
Correct. Good evening, Council. Bucky, Whitehouse, Emergency Services Director for Tooele County. What you have in front of you tonight is requested renewal of our automatic aid agreements with the South Valley Fire Agencies. When we negotiated the first agreement with them, it was for a 2-year cycle with the option of continuing or renewing for 2 3-year cycles. As a part of the renewal process, as you've been able to see in your summary and in the packet, we have been asked and have established a slight per call agreement with them, taking their per call run amount from $150 to $154.50 as indicated by the CPI index. Yeah, factoring in for that period of time, inflationary factors in for that period of time. In addition to that, those agencies in the South Valley are having great success with going to a model where they're actually reimbursing some of their members for actually responding to calls. And so this would be a benefit the county would be providing for them in their recruitment and retention endeavors to try to make sure that they have a workforce that is responding to the calls in the unincorporated areas of the county. In addition to that, it does do some operational clarifications related to the reporting systems that they're required to report back to us with, as well as that from the software system basically on down to just clarifying how we're going to operationally be in control or work together for the agreement. Not sure if you have any questions of me or any items I can address beyond that.
Thank you, Bucky. Any questions or comments? I mean, obviously, we need that because we have a vast area out there.
Correct. The challenge that we have with this budget is getting a number that we can budget for. And we believe that with the way we've established this agreement, it does give us that budgeted number that we can depend on over the cycle of the agreement. So we don't anticipate having any kind of budgetary fluctuations once we reestablish this agreement at the current rate that we're suggesting.
And you went to a 3-year term, okay?
Yeah, and so there'll be 2 3-year cycles for the remainder of our agreement with the automatic aid partners, which would be Vernon, Rush Valley, and Stockton.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Bucky. Chair to entertain a motion.
So move.
Hear a motion from
I'll second.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Hoffman, and a second from Councilman Thomas. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those that may oppose say nay. That sounds unanimous, Nikki. Thank you. That will bring us down to contract with the appraisers. Joy?
Good evening, council. I appreciate the time. I'm asking for the contract to be approved. We put out an RFP that Aspen helped me update just a little bit so that we had everything I wanted in there checking the box. We had one response from the appraisers. The appraisers in the past have worked with Tooele County for several years. And so this is an experienced firm that knows Tooele County and outlined, checked all the boxes of the RFP for the land guide that we asked for, appraisals and valuation, looking at all of the data and checking each one, as well as offering Board of Equalization through appeals. The contract will be paid in 3 stages, 30 days upon completion of the contract, or execution, excuse me, and then 6 months, and then completion of the contract after all of the appeals are finished. This is something that we have in our budget. We're excited that we have that remaining that we can use, so that we can use that for this year. And this is something that we're looking forward to, getting our commercial on track and having an experienced team work through the valuation so that we have market values for our commercial properties and have the new ones up and running and ready to go.
And is this for the year 2026 and that?
It is for, it would begin now, but it would be for the 2026 tax roll, yes. Since he included the Board of Equalization Appeals Service, Nathan extended it to honor before December 1st with the possibility that appeals might not be settled until the December 1st.
Wonderful. Yeah, you want them to be involved.
We do. Yes, we do. That's a critical service. We have a lot of appeal information, and it takes a lot of time to prepare for that and to adequately defend it. And so this is an experienced person that will add huge credibility to our office for those commercial appeals. I'm excited for that. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, council? Comments? Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chair to entertain a motion.
Go. Erik, it's yours.
Motion to approve the contract with the appraisers.
I'll second it.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Stromberg and a second from Councilman Hoffman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that may oppose say nay. Sounds unanimous. Thank you. That'll bring us down to the resolutions. That's the 2025-22, approving and filing of cross appeals to the 2025 appeals filed by taxpayers, subject to central assessment. Alison.
All right, council, we had 2 centrally assessed property owners file appeals this year in our county. The first one was US Magnesium and the second one was Pacific Core. Typically, centrally assessed property owners are property owners that own either property that crosses county lines or things like mines, minerals, things like that. Usually our threshold for getting involved in these cross appeals, because the state already defends these or because they're the ones that assess them, is if it has an impact to our county distribution of more than $100,000, because they are expensive to defend and they go on for years. The U.S. Magnesium cross appeal would have an estimated impact on the county's distribution of $45,000, and so we've opted not to get involved in that one right now. However, the Pacific Core cross appeal is substantially more. The county's portion of that is estimated about $107,000. And we did run some numbers. Just as an example, the school district's portion of that would be $626,000. North Tooele Fire would be $61,000. And so the way that we participate in these is sort of like a friend of the court or a friend of the court's the best way to do it. The attorney that we're using, Tom Peters, he works with all the other counties in the state because each county is impacted differently depending on the amount of property that they have, the amount of Pacific Core property that they have in their jurisdiction. The last Pacific Core one that we had literally drug on for multiple years. And so anyway, the resolution that you have before you tonight is so that we can participate in that and work on getting that appeal taken care of. So
Then that'd be a letter to the state saying, yes, we,
yeah, yep.
okay. Any other questions or comments, council? If not, chair to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Thomas, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Stromberg. I think Erik beat you, Ty. Hearing a second from Councilman Stromberg. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those may oppose say nay. That sounds unanimous. Thank you. That will bring us down to ordinance 2025-12, rezoning 332.48 acres located off of Burmester Road. Rachelle.
Thank you, Chairman and fellow council members. Mr. Ackerlow is requesting a rezone from MU 40, multiple use 40 acre minimum, to MG Manufacturing General for 332 acres of property within the Inland Port project area. About 60% of it is undevelopable wetlands, and they will be protected. The applicant is either going to do a wetland mitigation bank or a mitigation project. When they have made that decision, we will bring that before you. And the traffic study recommends that a light be put on the I-80 exit and the I-80 and Burmester intersection by 2030. Planning Commission made a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Any other questions or comments? And that's the property that's being shown.
Correct.
Michelle, I have a question.
Go ahead.
In planning and zoning, was there any public comment about this?
Yes. Ms. Durfee that lives off of Burmester was concerned about the amount of traffic. The traffic study states there could be some intense heavy truck traffic in this area at full build out. That's not anticipated until 2030 to 2050. And the traffic study says the majority of that is going to go directly to I-80, so it should not impact the residential areas in that area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? If not, chair to entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we,
So moved.
Ty made the motion, I'll second.
Motion made by Councilman Hoffman, a second by Councilman Wardle. Any further discussions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those that may oppose say nay. Thank you. That will bring us down to ordinance 2025-13, amending the land use south section of the map general plan. Rachelle?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. MacArthur, along with several other property owners, is requesting a general plan amendment for 23 acres, 23 parcels, from open space to agricultural to bring the properties into conformance with their current use and to allow for future development of the area. Many, if not all, of the properties are in a special flood hazard area due to this being the old Rush Lake beds. As you know, we've not seen significant water there in many, many years, but they are still identified as a special flood hazard area. So they may require floodplain permits in addition to building permits. There are currently structures already out there, so this would just bring them into conformance. The general plan calls for it to be open space due to them being identified as lake beds. So they're asking for an agricultural identification, and then they will be back with a rezone to A5 if this is approved. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And I apologize for the audience. This is located west of SR 36 and south of Stockton.
Yeah. Maps up there. Any other,
The next one.
any other comments or questions, council? Hearing none, then Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve ordinance 2025-13, amending the land use south section map of the general plan as presented by Rachelle.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Thomas, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing a second from Councilman Stromberg. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those may oppose say nay. Thank you, it sounds unanimous.
And I'm going to apologize. You're going to have to deal with me for a while. Tricia's last day is Friday. So until we get a new planner, you have to deal with me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachelle.
Thank you, Rachelle. Now bring up action item. This is a presentation by the Council of Governments, recommendations for transportation tax projects. Councilman Stromberg.
All right, I think we were all to COG last week, but just to run through the numbers. So this is for both third quarter and quarter preservation. In the packet, you can see the scoring, and as I mentioned during COG, I think we finally have gotten to a point where we have some good separation of scoring to help us really decide what projects are a priority from a scoring perspective. The other thing before I go through and review it, one other thing I think we need to look at as a council and obviously setting budgets is as we go forward, and I know we're trying to, you know, look into the future to see what's available, but I do think we need to look at how much we do want to put out and have available for this so applicants know. Specifically when we look at the three small communities to the south being Vernon, Stockton, and Rush Valley. So I know we've talked about potentially having some money that they can budget for the repairs, and I think that's something we need to make sure we have out there, because as we talk about Vernon, the amount they put down was kind of based upon some rough numbers we'd shared. So I think we just want to make sure we get that out there, and then they know what they can plan and budget for. And the conversations I've had with those three mayors is if they knew that, then they can talk amongst themselves and try and collaborate and decide whether they want to ask for something every year or if it makes more sense for them to work on a rotating basis where maybe they can get a little bit more money for projects. So just sharing that for something for us to consider as we get into the spring before we open this back up again next year. So with that said, just run through the recommendations from COG. So for third quarter, recommendation for $1.65 million to finish up the Mormon Trail project awarded to the county. Also under third quarter, the county submitted the applications, but this is really more of a COG as a whole. So as a county, we've gone through, we've evaluated all the pavement. The other members of COG felt that that was something they would wanted to do. So that is the pavement assessment project for $65,000. And then the last one there is for us as a county in supporting COG to look at the feasibility of applying a fee based upon usage. So that is the $35,000. So COG's recommendation on third quarter comes into $1,750,000 for that. And then quarter preservation, Tooele City to do some work around on the depot, the Peterson Industrial Depot for $635,971.54. Erda, Cimarron Way, is $224,000. And then, Vernon to do some repairs, $50,000, and Stockton as well for $65,525. So those were the recommendations. You will see in the packet, Grantsville City did apply for improvements on Sheep's Lane, but the scoring did come in low. Obviously, when you have a large project, it was not recommended to fund anything for Grantsville this time. So total under corridor preservation comes in at $975,000 for I think 96, and I think it's that 54 cents on the end of that. So that was the recommendations from COG.
Thank you, Councilman Stromberg. Is there any other questions or comments? Chair Chair recognizes Councilman Wardle.
Erik, can you go through how the process has changed over the last 2 or 3 years, and if there's more of a unanimity among the COG members in where we are with transportation, priorities, things like that?
Yeah, so a couple things as we've gone through with the scoring. Over 2 years ago when I first started on that subcommittee for COG, the scoring didn't work. I'll just put it that way. It didn't work, right? We took a lot of state code and that wasn't working. So we've gone through over that time and adjusted the scoring and what makes sense, what can cities put down that we can use to score. We've adjusted the application to match that. So, if we want to score on it, we're asking the question that they can provide that with us. So I think that's what's helped as far as the scoring to get the separation that we've talked about. I think the other thing, and it's where we're going to continue to move forward, and it's going to be an ongoing agenda item on COG, is to look at, I'll say, the valley, right? So as we think about, from South Mountain to I-80, from the Stansbury to the Oakers, right? How do we support the valley for transportation and getting everyone to have the conversation? What's the priority? How do we get folks moving north and south without having, 2 ways, maybe now, primarily 1. But we also need to start looking about how do we get east and west. So that's, I think, the other thing is coming together as COG and saying, what are our priorities? And so then we can look at the funds, have that priority list. So as we think about what's available for third quarter preservation, we can look, what do we need in the next 5 years and make sure we're spending correctly and saving correctly for major projects. So Councilman, that.
No, that's super helpful. I think you've explained a lot of the process that we've been through for 2.5 to 3 years trying to get everyone unified, and that was seen very much in the COG discussions this year, and so thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments, council? Okay, Chair, entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the recommendations from COG on third quarter and quarter preservation as I just presented.
I'll second it.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Stromberg, second from Councilman Wardle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that may oppose say nay. Good job. Sounds unanimous. Thank you. All right. That will bring us down to council updates. Councilman Stromberg.
Just really quick, and it's something that's been on my mind for a while. So I have the unique perspective when it comes to working with the sheriff's office and our dispatchers as being a firefighter and the chiefs. And so I just want to thank them for all their work and dedication. I know those are not easy jobs, but as I get the opportunity to speak with dispatchers on the radio, their professionalism that they handle in a lot of crisis, as well as we go on scenes outside of Grantsville City and working with the sheriff's office, they are very professional. So wanted to just take the time on my update to say thank you very much to all of those individuals.
Thank you. Councilman Hoffman.
Just want to just briefly mention the America 250 project that's ongoing. Brittany is running that and spearheading that. I think there's going to be a lot more coming from Brittany in the future on that. It's going to be good. I think we need to be ready to help plan those events and help fund some of those.
Thank you.
It's a good event. We just need to make sure we're all fully involved with it.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Hoffman. He called you out, so.
So recently, I've been trying to bring all the communities together to work on our community team. What I think I need the help with is maybe our county team, so I'll be reaching out to departments and electeds to see who on their team want to be involved. I think that this is a great opportunity to bring all the municipalities and communities together, but I also think it's a great opportunity to bring our departments together. We had a meeting last week. Great collaboration, really good ideas from some of the cities on events that they already have planned. So I'll kind of do a little bit more formal of a presentation for you guys, but just to highlight a few things, we're talking about like maybe a county-wide app that would send people on adventures through the county, attending different community events and earning pins, and at the end you would earn a commemorative coin. You do it as a family, but you have to attend all these fun 250 events that all the communities are putting on. So really great way to bring people together and then get people out in our community and seeing what everything that we have to offer here. So it's going to be pretty exciting. So
Thank you. Councilman Wardle.
No, I don't have anything.
Councilman Thomas.
Pass.
And I'll pass also, and then bring us up to the manager's update. Andy.
Just three quick things that I'll mention. One of the things, just kudos to Brittany as well. One of the things that we've taken on through the Utah Local Government Trust is a safety program, and let's see. They thank us for the work that we're doing for our safety program, and we received a check for $9,300 for some of this work, and then we were given a rate reduction as well as part of the work that we've been doing for about $9,500. So that's something that we've needed to do, and we're glad that we're trying to build a culture of safety, and grateful for Brittany being willing to take that on. The second thing, and I think I sent it in an email, this will be part of our budget that's upcoming as well. One of the things that we're proud of as well is, as you know, a number of years ago, we switched our health insurance provider, and for the third year in a row, we're not going to see a change in our premiums, which it is unheard of, quite honestly. And so we're really excited about that. So that's one thing that we won't have to pass on either to the taxpayers or to our employees, is that rate increase, because that's come in better than expected. So we're very fortunate. We have a great team that we're working with. So that's one other piece of good news. And the last thing that I'll mention, and I guess just tag along with something that Councilman Stromberg mentioned, was about COG and just working together. If you look at the projects that the county applied for, the one was for Mormon Trail. And as you see on that list, Rush Valley did not submit an application. However, afterwards, the mayor came up and he said, thank you so much for working together on this, because they and us had to come up with a match when we received some federal funds for this. And they're like, there's no way in the world that we'll be able to match this, which was true. But this is a perfect example of why COG exists, is when you kind of do the best you can and go after funding, COG has the funding for the match. And so Rush Valley was so appreciative of us working together on this one. So kudos to them. And the other projects, if you look at them, that they say COG, they're ones that the county is kind of taking ownership of. One is the looking at the pavement assessment. That's something we've already done, but it's probably easiest for us to go ahead and manage that for everybody else, because we've already been through it, as opposed to saying, COG, here you go. We'll take care of that, so that we're all talking consistent language about the assessment and the pavement of our pavement. So I think that's a really good project for us to do together. And then the other one was that transportation utility fee study, which COG, we presented that because other communities are doing that. We presented it, and COG was really excited about that. So that's something else that we'll be taking on as a county, is kind of shepherding that through as well. So these are a lot of good things that we're doing together. And one thing that Councilman Stromberg mentioned as well is the best thing that I heard in that meeting was at the very end when they asked about, we need to plan the valley better. I said, well, we have a master transportation plan, and so do all the cities. Maybe we need to pull that up and look at that, because it shows corridors that we need to start preserving to get out ahead of the growth. And so we're going to be presenting that at the next COG, is here's what our master transportation plan says. It's not just a plan that sits in a notebook. It's not just online, but it's something that we need to act on, because a lot of thought went into that. And so we're proud that we're getting together to talk about those types of issues and using the funding source which is available to start buying those right-of-ways and the corridors. That's what we should be doing. And so that's really exciting in my mind, that we're taking that plan and we're putting it into action. And then we'll probably be looking at next year, applying for some funds to start going after some of the corridors to get ahead of some of the growth that's coming. So it's very heartening for COG to have had that discussion. So we're coming together as a community, or as a valley, especially here. We have to. We're all in this together. So that was very good to see COG working together like that. So thank you, Councilman Stromberg, for helping with that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
One quick question, comment.
I just wanted to comment on the safety. So I'm just the nag that's bothering everybody about safety all the time. I have to give big kudos to our department heads and for jumping on board. And we implemented something new this year where we have a safety officer in every building. And we've had 100% support from each of our department directors in each building, supplying somebody to do these audits that are very timely. And then on top of that, our facilities team, who has been really good at making sure they're taking action to correct any safety issues. So it's been a great team collaboration, and I'm really proud of our county team for understanding that building a safety culture is important in a lot of ways. We want everyone to go home safe to their families, and we don't want to pay for accidents that we don't need to pay for. So I just appreciate everyone's help in it.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, Chair, to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Hearing a motion from Councilman Stromberg. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned at 7:52. Thank you, Ty.